The strikes bill has been passed in the House of Commons, requiring some employees to keep working during industrial action. The government hopes the bill would help reduce disruption to essential services. However, the unions see it as an infringement of their rights to strike, with protest action planned to take place tomorrow throughout West Yorkshire. Unison Branch Secretary Angela Blackburn says every worker should have their right to strike.
This is a blatant attack on workers' rights, so we are absolutely against this bill and we're against the government that is putting this through. All the branches in Unison would work together and with our sister trade unions across the country to see what we can do to stop this being made law, or if it does become law, what we can actually do legally to ensure that members have the right to take strike action.
On the third anniversary of Brexit, a new poll suggests the UK's departure of the European Union is failing to live up to people's expectations. 45% of all those surveyed said Brexit was going worse than they'd hoped for, compared to 28% in June 2021. People in Leeds say they're not surprised by the figures.
I voted to stay actually. All in all, I haven't noticed much difference. Tax has gone up a little bit more, but other than that, there's not been a massive change.
It's all gone downhill for the last 3 years, hasn't it? And it looks like it's going to carry on like that for the next few years. Worst country in the world.
Biden refuses to send extra military aid to Ukraine in the fear NATO will become too involved in the conflict. The much-needed F-16 fighter jets would strengthen Ukraine's attack in harsh weather conditions. However, such aid could potentially ignite the start of a world war. Junction 39 and 40 off the M1 southbound have been forced to close after a 3-lorry crash near Wakefield this morning. West Yorkshire police say one passenger was seriously injured. Drivers are being warned to expect delays. We will keep you updated as we hear more. A 27-year-old man has been charged with a terror offence after he was arrested at St James's Hospital in Leeds, where he worked. Mohammed Farouk from Roundhay allegedly made a bomb from a pressure cooker. He was charged with possession of an explosive substance and an imitation firearm. More government funding is needed for the struggling businesses in West Yorkshire. Many businesses are facing difficulties in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic and the current costs of living crisis. Charlie Watts has the latest.
Businesses across West Yorkshire high streets could face serious issues if they don't receive adequate support from the government, says research charity Centre for Cities. This comes at a time where jobs are already under threat in places like Castleford, where high street giant M&S is facing closure, as well as growing fears surrounding unemployment rates in Bradford, where a new study has found that they could triple from 5% to nearly 15%. Castleford MP Yvette Cooper has launched a petition to stop the closure of the M&S store, arguing it to be a crucial part of the town's high street and pivotal in providing customers for local business.
The Duchess of Cambridge, Kate Middleton, visited Leeds today to discuss her new campaign, Shaping Us, which aims to raise the profile of the early years of child development. She visited the iconic Kirkgate Market and also held a talk with childcare students at the University of Leeds.
She was absolutely beautiful, stunning, gracious, and just lovely. Made me feel very comfortable and, quite surreal.
A government scheme aimed to encourage households to ditch their boilers and switch to a heat pump is off to a slow start. They pledged to issue 30,000 vouchers annually, but only achieved a third of this between its launch in May to December last year. It is estimated only 42,000 vouchers will be handed out by March 2025. Shoppers in Leeds seemed unaware of such opportunity.
In regards to the green heating scheme, I know absolutely nothing about it.
I've never heard of the green heating scheme.
I don't know anything about the green heating scheme. Do you want to fill me in?
It has been revealed that Unite by Music is the new slogan for the 67th Eurovision Song Contest, which will be held in Liverpool in May. 2023's Eurovision has been partnered with Ukraine, with this year's logo being inspired by the Ukrainian and United Kingdom's flags. Martin Green, the managing director, has stated that this year's identity sums up perfectly the amazing partnerships across the contest and, more importantly, the power of music. And in sports today marks the end of a transfer window, one of the busiest days in football. Here's Reese with the latest.
Thank you very much for that, Arwen. Just hours from the football transfer deadline, the rush for last-minute signings is underway. Clubs have already surpassed the 2018 spending record, with £550 million spent already and more to come. Leeds United beat their personal record spend earlier this month, buying Jorginho Rutter from Hoffenheim for £36 million. Today, they signed 18-year-old Diogo Monteiro from Servette and loaned American Weston McKennie from Juventus, who shared his thoughts with fellow American Tyler Adams.
Whenever I heard the interest, it was definitely exciting. You know, I have people here that I know, Tyler Adams, Brendan Aronson, Jesse Marsh, and I'm just ready to get started.
In other transfer news, despite some interesting signings, Huddersfield Town are still desperate for a goalkeeper before the deadline tonight. Local teams Harrogate Town and Bradford City have also made some exciting loans, including Tom Eastman from Colchester and Dora Costello from Burnley. With the transfer window closing at 11 p.m, we are sure to see some more surprising signings by the end of the day. The FA Cup results from this weekend saw Leeds United win 3-1 away to Accrington Stanley with a great performance from winger Jack Harrison. We saw a shocking score from Sheffield United with a 3-3 draw against Wrexham, whilst their neighbours Sheffield Wednesday drew 1-1 with Fleetwood Town. Both games will now be replayed. And an important game for Southampton tonight against Newcastle in the second leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final. Newcastle bagged a 1-0 victory in the first game. The Premier League will be back on Saturday with Leeds sat in 15th, facing a tough trip to Nottingham Forest on Sunday. In rugby news, Castleford Tigers beat Whitehaven away 38-4 in rugby union, whilst Leeds Rhinos won 24-10 against Bradford Bulls. And finally, the Six Nations begins this weekend with Wales playing Ireland and England playing Scotland on Saturday.
Thanks, Reese. It's certainly been a busy week in sports. And finally, let's take a look at the weather. It will be warm but windy in Leeds for the next few days, with temperatures up to 11 degrees Celsius and gusts up to 40 miles per hour. We're not expecting any rain this week, but humidity still remains at around 80%. This is Arwen Jemmett reporting from Leeds University.